Commissioners meeting. And there are Title VI forms on the back table. If anyone cares to fill those out, do so and turn it in at the auditor's office. You all stand. I'd like to ask Danny Peters to lead us in pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
After this,
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for just another day of life, Father, that you granted us. We pray for wisdom over this meeting tonight for this group of people that's here. Lord, we just pray that you would give them your wisdom, your clarity, your direction. We thank you, Father, for this city and this community, and we pray that you would help each and every one of us to be who you need us to be for you, to spread your love, to spread your kindness, and everything that needs to be done, Father, to show people how much you love them. We pray, Father, that the decisions and everything that will be made here tonight and in the meetings to come, that will just be in accordance with your will and direction that you have for this wonderful city that we have. We thank you for Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, July 15th minutes. Questions, additions, or corrections?
I did not. I don't have anything for the 15 minutes. I move to approve. Second.
Executive session on July 22nd.
I move to approve. Second.
Executive session on August 2nd.
I move to approve.
Believe that executive session states that was for employee relations, and that was not approved.
Oh, that was the,
According to the advertisement and the duties, that was real estate property transaction. The code is correct, but the purpose.
Okay,
I was gonna say, I think
that was updated in my bad. I forwarded that through the phone.
Noted on this.
as amended, I move to approve.
Minute I will second.
Okay, claims. Questions.
I had one, I think it's the last thing. For animal control, it shows we paid transport fee for cattle. I wasn't aware that we had cattle seizures. The claim of $1,314.50 broken down. There were 3 trips on May 26, 2024 for the transporting of cattle. And there's additional for the goats and horses that I was aware of, but it didn't not have any information on cattle hauling or the, that would put that claim at $589. Is there any information for that?
On regarding the bill of transport,
Why did we transport them? Where did they go?
we had to get them to the fund.
Were they at seizure?
Yes. Yes, that was, they were owner surrender.
Okay, so they were owners.
Yes,
Where did they end up going?
they went to rescue,
What rescue?
to the Aldi farm.
Algae farm? They, how many cattle was?
uh, 30, I think, what, 32 or 34 head? 33, 33.
They, I guess, weren't willing to pay to have those hauled there.
Mhm.
They weren't willing to pay for that.
They weren't even willing to pay to, like, bring in round bales for their animals, for them to eat. They were
I mean, the
bringing
people that received that, 32 head of cattle has value, right?
At that point, at the point where they were, their body scores were no.
Where are the cattle?
They went to the Aldi farm,
Are they still there?
some of them.
Where did the others go?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to talk to Dick about that.
That seemed kind of problematic. One that I didn't know about this. You hadn't called me, you hadn't informed me until I see it in the claims preparing for tonight. And then two, this guy that's rescuing or hosting, not rescuing, hosting our animals is now disposed of property that was surrendered to the county.
Right, but what we did was we moved them off into rescue. It's the same as like with the dogs and the cats that we move into rescue. And then, so all we had to do is pay to have them transported out. And then they take over the medicating, you know, the veterinary, they take care of all that. And we're done with it.
Sure. Because most of the time, like a dog or a cat rescue is not being sold for profit, right?
No, they're turned around and it's, yes, adopted.
They're adopted. Like there might be an adoption fee. Cattle, a herd of cattle is going to cost more if it's sold, right? So do we know what he did with it?
No, I do not. I mean, I can ask and find out.
And this is the same guy that has the,
Mhm.
So what would the value be of 32 head of holiday cattle?
When I talked to Dan, if they were healthy, that at market, they probably brought in $3 a pound. Selling like
The cow weight?
1,000 pounds, maybe
2,000.
2,000 pounds, thank you.
So a healthy cow is 2,000 pounds.
Correct, but these were far from healthy.
Right, but once they get healthy, 6,000 pounds of cow,
Mhm.
30 cows, $18,000. That seems like a very good deal for the person who received them.
Especially when we aren't keeping track of where they are.
These things aren't necessarily for profit transactions, but I mean, we're spending taxpayer dollars. Stuff. So making sure that we're spending that as responsibly as possible is very. And with Jeremy, I had no idea that we transported 32 head of cattle and surrendered them to another agency person. And that we paid for that hauling transport. On something that will bring, depending, again, no report on the health of the cattle or what they were in. You don't know the condition of them at all. So if the public could call me for this and claim that we, secretly took somebody's property from them and gave them to somebody else, I don't have to fight against corruption claim on that.
Okay.
To the state that provide us or work with.
There is a state vet report.
I'd like where these animals went. How many are still there? Were they tagged before they went to this location in Rushville? Do we know if the feed and hay bills that we are getting, are those only paying for the cattle
Yes.
and
No, they were not.
horses and goats, or what all are we paying?
No, it only paid for it. So what you're getting on the Lowe's bill and on that boarding bill, that was for the goats and for the horses.
So what's the,
The boarding and hay for $4,700. And then additional grain feed bill for 1,300, is that right?
it was 13, 14, 50 and 13, 12, 90.
13,1293 for the train.
Thir-
13,1293 for
13, 14, 15 was.
horse and goat feed.
Was the transport for 13, 12, 3. So
The Lowe's total is 14,1385 from May to now.
right, that's not all on this claim.
Another one.
Right, there's still some that are waiting to come in.
This claim is June 30th bill, $1,300.
No, I'm sorry, that number's wrong. That was to the veterinarian. It was $2,909.40 from May, from the time they got there to the time that, to today.
We have another $1,600 bill coming from Lowe's. And another $4,700 for boarding and hay. But to today, that total bill for the goats. 94 plus 3,000, $12,400 veterinary bill.
14, 13. But there is going to be some medication that's not needed and we will be returning. So there'll be a credit.
Total's gonna be 15,500 for that. Some of these claims. I like Jeremy, when I saw the cattle, the cost for hauling cattle, I didn't know that we paid for and for took surrender stuff 30. I didn't have anything else in claims.
I don't either.
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second. Okay, oh my God.
Payroll from July 19th.
I didn't have any questions. It doesn't look like we had any work from home time allowed or put into that payroll. That's something I'm trying to track on. It's still little grumblings and grumblings, complaints of people working at home and not getting work done.
Their total is $371,658.77. 519.
Move to approve payroll.
Second.
second week, August 2nd. $388,634.74.
So I saw a lot of lines here that said it didn't pay out, if that were their status changed, we had to calculate how a month over time that people were salary or no longer. After that. Sure that's.
I moved to.
Second.
Next up, Todd.
Good evening, gentlemen. Second last met. County's been doing routine maintenance, grading roads. Not doing some grader patching. For the vegetation, we've been spraying. Wood logging and haven't been doing much bushwhack. She's been burnt out. Been out there trying to get it fixed. We've been patching holes, been doing sign maintenance. We did get the community crossing roads last year addressed with snow shoulders. We started today.
What did the, do you know what the cost of that ended up being?
I haven't got all the tickets yet. Started 2024-1 chicken seal today. We submitted for 2024-2. For the balance of what we got awarded on the grant. And the road cut permit, I can get updated right now. The cost of that is $35 for somebody in the county to dig across our road to lay a field tile or put a pipe in, whatever. I would like to raise $350, which will cover 4 foot by 20 foot by 4 inches deep. Okay, the cost of that just for the asphalt is $352. Okay, so the way I talked to Mark about this, way I'd like to address it is we upgrade that road down to 350. They had to contact 53 aggregates to road level. Then when we're going to pave it, then the 350 will cover the cost of the asphalt. And then the county can just take care of the labor versus having each one of them take care of their own labor. You just do that on our yellow patch. But for some of these, we had about 5 of them last year, $35. That can cover the cost of the asphalt. So I guess that's what I'd like to present to you, that we raise that to 350. Posted on the website, that change. That way we can police recoup that asphalt cost.
Do you have any idea how many of these permits are being issued?
Last year we did 5. I may go, I think that first year I was here, I think I only did 2. Okay, so it's not very many. Most of the time it's a farmer, want to cut across the road, run field tile. But I think in the past year and a half, I probably did maybe 7.
Are those patched when we're doing other patching jobs, or are they just patched when the immediate need is?
Only on the mill and patch, we put in, go back with cold mix and put it in, make it a better ride. And we already get the asphalt first supply, then they go back and we put them on the schedule to mill it out and repave that.
When was the last time we did any price raise on it, Tina?
Hey, what?
Changed the price, or when was it set? Would you say $35?
Yeah, that I could not tell you.
Okay.
I think we need to be able to cover our costs. For example, I don't think it's had these. That's just the cost of the asphalt, you said, 4 inches thick by,
1 foot wide, 4 inches deep.
we're still supplying all the labor, all the mobilization fee. Knowing there's still one more.
We supply that,
No, I'm saying like, when we go out and put that asphalt in, those are other expenses that we're incurring.
yes. Yeah, we just use the hot box, go out there and shovel it in the hole. Try to get it as smooth as we can to the road level.
I think Tony's point was the $350 still doesn't cover all of our costs,
That would cover the cost of the asphalt.
right? But it doesn't cover all the additional labor costs, other materials, other things we have to do to return that road back to as close as we can to its original condition. Is that true?
Correct.
No, I agree. I think it's reasonable given what our expenses are for the county.
It's a cost share, not a complete cost, it's a cost share. I think it's the reasonable cost. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
I have 3 different documents I need you guys to sign. One is for the one I emailed you about. Notice to proceed. I'm sorry, that's the bid. Okay, Jan's got a copy of that. Can you sign it? Okay. I need one for my records. Yeah.
That's for paper solutions.
Yeah, this is for the chicken seal.
Yeah. And this is actually notice to proceed for chicken seal. This last one is for the contract for bridge inspection. You take that one. If you have any questions on that contract, John's here from United, he would like to answer.
Can you just give a brief description, Todd, for anybody that's listening, anybody that's here, what exactly you're having done for that bridge inspection, what the purpose of it is? Is that general information?
Bridge inspection is mandated by federal highway. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's an 80-20 grant. So it's a 4-year contract. All bridges get inspected the first year on phase 1. On phase 1A, all the ones that were at critical findings and scored below a certain level get inspected. That's phase 2A. And third phase, all the bridges in the county get inspected. And 4th phase is phase 2. And, all critical low storing bridges get inspected. That's kind of a grant within Federal Highway.
But
No, go ahead.
say a quick reminder, we have how many bridges in Decatur County?
180,
180 bridges. And I think last year, the average age was like 55.
yes.
So they're very aging infrastructure in Decatur County.
So if they have a NOFA call this year. My Tim and I's requisition, we try to go after that. It's like we did on Bridge 141. Try to go after one every year. Basically takes, what's it, 5, 6 years to get there. So at least we can be planning 5 or 6 years down the road to replace one of them bridges. I looked at all those. I've asked United to give us sufficiency ratings on all the ones they recommended, so we can make a good judgment call. Which one's rated the best as far as that rating? Probably do it last and go after this bridge. So just, there's quite a bit of work filling out the application, bid and everything like that. I think it's worth it for the county.
That's why I wanted to talk a little bit about it. So
Yeah.
just saying what it was that we
Yeah.
signed there we previously.
Yeah, I was awestruck last year when we got our report as to how many bridges there were, how many were maintained, what the work is, what the average age is. And how hard to try to keep them all open.
We also have 4 pedestrian bridges. So, and those have to be paid for if they're inspected, they have to be paid for local.
Yeah, and Todd said the 180 bridges that get inspected on the 2-year cycle, and then the ones that rate poorly, as of right now, there's 13 that they get inspected on the 1A and the 2A inspection. Those are the ones that are most in danger of causing issues.
With our bridge maintenance that we've been doing, we're going by recommendations United give us to go in and try and repair them to get maybe 10 years. We just did one, last one we did was on, is that 225? 225 Old Stone Arch Bridge. They actually put dead man's on it, pulled it to the center because the sides were starting to swell out. So I thought the guys did a pretty good job on that repair. You gentlemen have anything else for me?
Can you give an update on where you were at with the discussion with the railroad? I know you sent us an update about a week ago that you'd actually had contact with them for getting some repairs done on 350 West because of the shutdown that we had.
Well, I sent that. I finally got MDOT got involved, got me name and number. And I called that guy. He gave me the contractor that got that project. It was not an MDOT project. So I reached out to that contractor, told him my situation, and sent him the information that I had from that traffic control, safety or whatever, and told him what had happened. And he said, hey, if you send that over to me, he said, I'll see what he can do if I get you take care of it. So I figured railroad moves awful slow. So I figured I'd give him a couple weeks and I'll email him back. I haven't heard anything back since I sent that. But I've been keeping you guys CC'd on that so you know what's going on.
I appreciate that. The only other thing for me, can you send me a list of everything that you're using Centos for?
Yes.
That way I can just take a look at it and see what some of our totals are. Because looking at them, I mean, we're spending a lot of money on Centos, so I just kind of wanted to look at everything that you're paying for the different services.
Uniforms, safety, AEDs, and eyewash station.
How many AEDs?
We have 2.
And you were
That gets billed to us once a month. It's $290
a month for one or for
for
each?
2.
Buy
Are there,
a lot cheaper.
and I think there's grants for AED out there instead of.
Well, I think Tim was gonna reach out to Brad about that. He has yet. But it was also a 3-year contract, so I would need to find out what I need, how what tax pay you get out.
Just send me a list.
Okay.
We can get together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny Bunning's up next, but he's not here. He sent us his report. At 68 inspections, 24 new permits, plan reviews, 2 complaints. One was concern about an extension cord running swimming pool and kids plugging things into it upon inspection. The pool was ground fault, circuit control, and did not find an extension cord. Bernie Baptist Church house has been completely removed. Kenny house being demolished. These are burning properties, I'm assuming. David Israel claims he will have a house demolished at 1183 South, County Road 845 West. Have not heard from James Moss. This week, he plans to reinspect Lake McCoy, determine next steps. Date will turn over to the attorney. The swimming pool issue on State Road 3 South, owner came in, said she will get the proper permits, move the pool and deck. After she talks to the health department, to determine how far it needs to be from the septic. Any questions? Call here.
I do want to say that based off the handwriting, Krista and Debbie, thank you for creating and utilizing new tracking forms so that we can follow what's going on. Much appreciated they're in here so we can see what's going on, when it's happening, how it's happening, and if we have to go to abatement. Having a positive, our county attorney will appreciate this greatly since this is the first time I've ever seen them. Having you guys help Kitty in the process has made this much better, so thank you. Relay that to Debbie also.
Yeah, and that was gonna be one of my questions, as well. Is this part of a new file system? So we actually have a folder or a file
Yeah,
for
somebody called,
individual
we
complaints.
pull the form and we put it in a current file and then we give Kenny a copy so that he can address it. And the original form, he keeps so that he can write his notes on it, there's front and back for every contact that's made.
Regularly scheduled going back into there to make sure we don't just forget about things. Much improved, thank you.
Thank you.
So while we're also on Kenny, what's the status of the calls that we're getting explored from community corrections? And we paid transfer that or?
Yeah, so community corrections was selling a Ford Explorer, and back up on me and asked about sending an auction. I think we should purchase that for Kenny to do his inspection with.
Yeah, 'cause right now we're paying mileage for him to drive around to all of these inspections to do different things. It would be better to keep this vehicle in county
We
possession.
probably need to vote. If we do that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, good time.
I'll make a motion. Go ahead, purchase that vehicle for services.
Todd.
That was $5,000.
Yeah, it's $5,000.
It's $5,000.
Pay for that out of Houk.
Awesome. I'll concur. Right, Sean.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this. I'm not here to ask for anything. I'm here to give you bad news. Just want to give you some updates.
Christmas, huh?
Yeah. A lot of papers. We're gonna go through them page by page, and read each line. What I have on top there is the plan that we developed as a county to meet the requirements of the Health First Indiana initiative. That is the large grant that we've received from the state of Indiana. And it's a pretty detailed document there. I'm really proud of it. We actually have an intern that was provided to us by Indiana Department of Health through AmeriCorps. And she's quite brilliant with numbers and said put that together for us, collecting data. So that's kind of our guiding document for at least this year for the Health First Indiana. But while I'm talking about, I'm just really proud of what's been going on with the health department and this team that I have. An incredible group of people who have made significant changes in what's going on in the health department. I just want to give you some highlights. And my highlights are 2 pages, so I'm going to make this as brief as I can. We have divided into 2 different divisions. We have an environmental health division and population health division. Our environmental health division, just in the last 2 years, we've actually had new people come into that, and they have managed to, in that 2 years, Alicia is actually with us here, and she is now not just certified as a certified food manager, she actually can instruct the course now. That offers a lot of opportunities to our restaurateurs to take that course. We don't charge for the course, so it's another way that we are using these grant money to provide services to the county. She is also a certified pool operator, which means she can operate a pool. But actually, what it really means for us is that she can inspect the pool and know what she's talking about. She has also completed her bloodborne pathogens training, which will allow us to have a little more knowledge again when we inspect tattoo parlors. She's also started first phase of our vector control training, which allows us to spray for mosquitoes, which we were able to do this year at the fairgrounds prior to the fair. Our new septic person has actually taken several advanced septic trainings. So she's familiar with some of the more complicated systems in addition to the normal septics that she has to do. She's only been with us since April, and she's doing a great job with that. And Alicia has done some advanced food safety trainings through the FDA and through some other resources that we have. We had, as you guys know, we got approved a new food ordinance that also meets the state requirement that we do our inspections based on risk rather than just a certain amount of times per day. Alicia has also worked with solid waste to have Earth Day trash pickup. Pick up trash, I think probably all aware of it. We just teamed with them to do that around the square and at parks. We also have been doing latent flood water testing for several months now, just to see if we can determine where some of the issues are coming from there. On our population health division, this includes our preparedness and our vital records and our nursing division. We have now a nurse who came to us without a nursing degree, but she now has her LPN. And then another person who is a medical assistant, and she got her certification in that. Both of them got those certifications while working full time, and our LPN is now going on for her RN also while working full time. We now offer lead testing and STI testing. This is a blood draw. We've never done that before in the health department. We're waiting on our centrifuge to come now, but once it's here, we'll be able to send that down and send it up to a lab and get pretty quick results on that. Tony is our head nurse, and she has completed car seat certification, our technician certification, her safe sleep certification, and she's also a CPR instructor, an naloxone instructor, and a stop the bleed instructor. We do have naloxone boxes, which are boxes situated throughout the county that people can access naloxone. I took a class as a lead assessor, and I'm waiting to take the final third-party test on that. Tony's also completed Catch My Breath program, which is to work on tobacco use. Some of the new programs we have a school liaison. That's one person who is dedicated to working with the schools. She also does community outreach. We have joined the Suicide and Infant Death Review panel, which is required by the state as well, where we actually go in and talk about any suicide or infant death that occurs on county residents. We are able to prescribe several things. We are the prescriber for the Decatur County schools for their AED pads and their Buterol and their, I think I'm hearing that, the injection for epinephrine. Thank you. Health guy doesn't know. Thank you. So we're excited about all that. We also started non-syringe harm reduction for people who are at risk for needle-type injuries. We have begun, we're just starting right now, it's called the ONE program. We are teamed with Purdue Extension Education. It's to address obesity and heart disease through education, and we'll have some incentives for all that. We also offer pregnancy testing. We have now Tony and Amanda, who's our MA, our medical assistant, will be get their infection control certification. And this allows them to help in the nursing homes or the hospital or anybody else for that matter has issues with helping to stop the spread of infection, mostly within facilities, but also within population. Our vital records, we used to take cash only as our vital records. We now do accept credit cards, which makes it a lot more convenient for people to get their birth certificates or death certificates. We also accept them for any kind of payment. In addition to that, here in the next couple of months, since the state will allow us, we will be able to issue birth certificates for anyone who was born in Indiana, not just in Decatur County. What we find is a lot of people will move to Decatur County from other counties, and they actually have to go back or mail or various ways of getting them. They have to go to the county of their birth, which is sometimes difficult. I just want to highlight some of the partnerships we have, and this is just some of them. We partnered on some vaccination support with the town of Westport, the town of New Point, and St. Paul. We've done immunizations at the farmers market. Some of our other corporate and civic partners include the Extension Office, the Greensburg Prevention Group, One Community, One Family, the United Fund, Greensburg Daily News, WIC, Centerstone, Decatur County Memorial Hospital. We have a really great relationship with them, and it's getting better all the time. And they use us, we use them, and it's a great partnership. Community Health Clinic, we are working close with them. Our nurses do go out there and offer immunization. Kids Closet, the animal shelter we partnered with. Indiana Department of Health, we strengthened our relationships with the Indiana Department of Health. We have formerly had maybe not the greatest relationship with them, getting better all the time. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management and Bureau of Animal Health. The huge packet there with all the pictures is some of the upgrades we've made to our building. And I'm not going to go through them all, but there are before and after pictures on those. And just want to say that we have managed to bring all of these updates to our building without utilizing any county tax dollars. These have all been funded through grants and various other ways that we have. So I'm really proud of that we're not using our local tax money to get that done. And we'll get it done. Also, we have participated in several national conferences that in the past we've never been able to do. These also were funded through scholarships and grants. So I just got that from Detroit for the it's called NACHO 360. It is a conference for local health department executives. And Amanda, we have two Amandas. Amanda Bates went to the preparedness conference down in Atlanta. And next week, we actually had our entire nursing department will be in Atlanta at the CDC for immunization conference that, again, no charge to the county. This is all on scholarships and grants we were able to get. So that's basically all I have. I also just want to say another grant we are looking at. We're ready to move forward. I'm only made one copy, so I'll have to pass it down. Getting an electronic sign for the front of the building. That picture shows, I don't know if you can even read it, but what it'll say there is Decatur County Annex on the top. Will be available for every agency within the building to utilize in order to advertise whatever they may have, or warnings or updates that the MA may have. or court services, or anybody in the building can use that to do that. We have already received the grant money for that, are ready to pull the trigger on. I think that is all I have. Again, I am so proud of my team. I'm here to just go celebrate the work that they're doing and to let the whole county know how much good they're doing for the county while keeping costs down and utilizing those taxpayer dollars in a responsible manner. That's all I got. That's a lot of words, really fast. Any questions?
Did well.
Great job.
Thank you.
And I think you moving out there to the annex in a great accomplishment.
We actually love it out there.
Gives you room to expand. Things.
We still have more plans for out there.
Fantastic.
And thanks for coming and letting us know all the stuff you're doing, because it's possible to keep up with all the agencies.
Sure.
Being able to get it out to the public in this format with YouTube and everything else, they all get to hear. That's have a little more options available than what they thought.
Yeah.
Your history of service for is being a great many years. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think our discussions previously about the parking lot and things like that, the annex, I think this goes right along with it. Do you guys have any issues with this? Just to make sure that this sign is not going to be wasted, or those $40 are not going to be wasted with
Well, we
our
might
prior
wanna-
discussions.
We might want
Talk about
to
location.
the conversation, because Sean and I have talked about it, was it's going, that project there specifically stays at the same location that the sign is.
Correct. Yep. So we might be, my inclination is probably should be.
We're gonna work on scope for that parking lot here real soon, so don't pull the trigger until we figure out.
Yeah.
But
We
we
don't,
do appreciate that.
we don't want to waste your hard work.
Yeah.
You're doing clear.
We definitely want to get you more parking along with court services too, so that's a priority for us this year, moving forward, try to get that done, and get that taken care of this year. So
Sounds good.
it should be, and we'll get back to you, and
Okay.
we're hoping to get that.
When was the last test that you did out at Lake McCoy?
May.
Are you seeing any trends?
No.
All
It's really hard to come up with any trends. We've actually tested some of the water heading into Lake McCoy and some of the small streams. The bacterial level is still high in those as well. So some of it is coming in without a doubt. But we still suspect there may be some failed systems along the way there as far as septic systems. So our next step, we have identified people who do have systems on record for us, and we'll be proceeding with the ones who do not.
Thank you, Sean.
Mr. Sheriff, you still awake?
It's kind of a hard act to follow.
What you're saying is you're not coming to not ask for anything.
My hat is in my hand, yeah. No, it is not. Okay, so we discussed the compressor issue earlier meeting, and actually got tabled. So after doing a little research, the compressor unit failed. It failed in initiation when they started building up on 7/21/20. So it was replaced then. It failed again on 10/28/22, a little over 2 years later, it failed again. And now here in June of this year, it's failed a third time. I provided you with two estimates, one from Coors and one from Houk. Hook's was the one that installed it initially. And maintenance guy Greg Lentz has been working with the Cook's people. And they're going to have their parts people and the mechanical people on site. They're going to get this changed and figure out why these keep failing. So bottom line is I'm asking for permission to follow through with one of these estimates, get this compressor repaired.
Told, because Tim is my cousin. And he tells me that that brand of compressor is notoriously poor. And obviously it's not. And I don't know if Cooks will give you a different option on brand.
Yeah, I'm not an HVAC guy, but I understand it through our maintenance guy Greg. These are pretty much required because the automated system control most. Compatible with that.
Cook's estimate was
$6,001.56.
Coors was $8,708.
Correct. And again, this is not budgeted. Next one.
They won't, that company won't offer any kind of warranty or guarantee.
Again, Greg Lentz, our maintenance guy, has been working with them at this point now. Been trying to.
Where's his estimate? What you buy it for, right? Because the compressor that is quoted from Houk is OEM AAON digital compressor. Where's it? Oakwood? That's
Again, I'm relying on Greg Lentz on this guy. He's recommending cooks.
how the market likes to not have to do it every 2 years.
I agree. But again, they're saying we will be on site, but the next one is Shane. They try to figure out what.
My view on it would be to go with the company that at this point you believe is best,
Yeah, cooks and stuff with the
most suitable system that you have to continue to allow that system to work. And so if that's cooks, okay, that's more. I don't really care which way you go, as long as hopefully we can get this problem fixed
Correct.
time and time again. As far as paying for it, is it your special purpose for maintenance on the facility?
It could be, yes.
And you have money available in that fund to be able to cover that?
No, I've only got a certain amount budgeted out of that special purpose. It's already spoken for, if you would.
We asked council for an additional out of the from that.
That's special.
Yeah.
I believe it's 16,000 sitting in maintenance and special purpose of it. Council.
Out of there.
It's there. It's ready.
Yeah,
It's appropriated.
Oh, okay. We just need to approve that. Mark, your experience on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an HVAC guy, I'm just leaning on what Tim tells me now. Guess I'm not throwing more work. I was not throwing money down that rabbit hole.
As far as paying for it, that
Oh,
special purpose.
yeah. Good with that.
yeah. Or the original appropriation out of the special purpose for maintenance was $125,000. It looks like only $8,537.81 has been spent. So there should be plenty of money that was already appropriated for that share. So I think there's plenty in there for that.
But again, yeah, correct.
I mean, from a cost perspective, they're continuing to have a problem. I don't care which way you go, I'm not sure. Tony, do you have a preference on which way you go?
I'm with Mark. I mean, company's replaced it twice now. Pressure should last more than 18 months. I think if we go with them again, it's the last time we need to figure out why it's wearing out so prematurely. Oh, this is our only option. $6,000 every 2 years is a lot of money. The source of what's there is hopefully a bite this time. But that troubleshooting is probably not in the 6,000, or is it gonna be in the 6,000?
Should be the same.
With using.
Make a motion to go with Cook and to pay for it out of special purpose maintenance.
Second.
Motion passes with 2 yeas and an A.
Thank you. Item number 2, in the 4+ years we've been there, our park house has never been seal coated. So I did get 3 estimates, which I emailed you. $5,760. Chris's seal coating was $6,300. Below was $8,610. Seal type is a spray on. The other 2 are broom brushed on. If that means anything to you, then I'm not a seal coat guy. That's just an explanation. So again, I'm just seeking approval and the money to seal coat the park.
I think it's great and good for the maintenance. To be done to make it last.
And I didn't know either. After talking to you, Sheriff, last week, I looked at the broom thing, and I think the broom better. Tony, is that your experience as well?
I don't have any experience with seal coating.
I mean, this is what Trustee Reliable research on Google. told me to find.
That's gotta be correct.
It's gotta be true. That's why I was asking you, Tony. if you had
Yeah,
any
no,
experience.
that's, I do a lot of dirty jobs. That's not one that I have the experience to do.
Fair enough. That was what I found. And then as far as the first bid that was sent to us, the seal tight, there was nothing in there that talked about the stripe.
Actually, it is. You'll see up here listed. There's
Oh,
striping.
line striping.
It
Okay.
is.
$100 for line
Yeah.
striping. After my research though, Chris's seal coating is where I would lean. Just because of the grooming and the striping, I think it's a better product. Research.
Which one did you say?
This is the second one, Chris's seal coating.
What's the difference? What's the advantage of that one over the seal type? It's cheaper by.
Spring
One
versus
spring.
It's one.
Spraying takes about 30% of the material. Grooming does. But I would ask you to investigate the insurance certificate on whoever you choose. Because I know one of them doesn't have insurance.
Okay.
Took a natural gas meter off of the building over at Indiana Water a few years ago. Indiana Water paid for it.
You don't get whoever it is. You won't get anywhere near the gas.
Just saying.
Mark's cautionary mind improved. I will, I'll second Jaren's vote. Should go with Chris's. For the broom finish it.
Thank you for that. I do have one request that I did not put on the agenda. Last year, when you added 2 more handicap spots out there, we lost our law enforcement parking spot. And right now, the elevator down, it's causing us quite a big problem. Most of our hearings, the judges are very capable, are very complimentary, letting us use Zoom. But if we have to bring an inmate over, we can't use the elevator, can't use the sally port. We have to come in this end. The parking situation as it is right now, sometimes having trouble getting parking. We also can't walk inmates halfway around square or around square. I'm gonna ask if we can get 2 more spots reserved for law enforcement for that purpose.
Think the elevator be done Wednesday? That's the second Wednesday. The other thought Washington Street in October is gonna be ripped out and all of it, just like Franklin Street. So I wouldn't want to restripe it now and have it taken out in October again.
This would require restriping for a sign.
There's no law.
We robbed that to get the extra handicap, knowing that it's gonna be restriped later.
Or it's need to have at least one law enforcement slot back.
We could put that in the regular stall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
make signs, but I mean, hang on, still have some.
that one was something.
Brooks took it down. I think it's put in inside someplace. I think he actually gave it to the security guys. They took it down.
Yeah, I think we had one in, next one of the handicaps to it, get that back regardless, from elevator or not, elevator back once they should solve. problems.
So whatever the sign up, you're agreeing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
And one last thing that requires any action, I did lay down the first half of your commissary report here. Thank you.
Thank you, sure.
Thank you. It's bad.
I wanted to talk to you about the warning sirens that are in the township and the ownership of those. So I've been working with Brad over, oh gosh, probably about a year now. We've been trying to identify really where all the sirens are, who bought them, and who currently owns them. I've also worked with the city on some, and we've determined that the sirens that are within the city limits, that the city now owns those. They will be in charge of, maintenance of those, eventually replacement of those. One was just purchased this, well, it was just installed this summer. Township had purchased it in 2021. It just had never been installed. So I got that taken care of. It's been installed. The city now owns it. So I wanted to look at 5 that I know the township has purchased over the years that are currently, I guess, if they're still in our ownership, or if this county ever really accepted them. And the reason I wanted to do that was because in addition to the 5 sirens, the township had also purchased the warning siren control system that Brad would be using. Is it installed yet, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay, it is, and it's being used. Okay. And then he's buying 8 new sirens too, that all of the sirens across the city, township, and county will all be ran through that program. So I just feel like if the county is using them, operating them with their staff and with the system, they're in control of it, that it just makes sense that the county owns it and operates it all together. I have a list that I gave you of the 5 sirens, the price of them, and I also gave it to Janet so she could add it to the, it's later somewhere for you, Janet. So it's okay, well, I'll let you find it later.
Okay.
But it has our logo, it's not like this. But anyway, this is, so she could add it to your capital assets listing if you decide to do so. This kind of stemmed from discussion I had with Greensburg, City of Greensburg and the Greensburg Fire Department regarding things that the township purchases for the Greensburg Fire Department. And all the firemen said, when we use your equipment, we always treat it as if it's your equipment, but also, take care of it so that we know that it's not ours. We're going to take care of it as well as we can, but at the same time, they're always a little afraid, like, it's not quite ours, So we decided that they were more comfortable using everything, just thinking that it was always theirs. They didn't have to ask permission for any changes. And it was just always, so we set a threshold of $50,000 that anything we purchase for them, 50,000 or above, we maintain ownership. 49,999 below, we go ahead and get the city to ownership. So kind of doing the same thing with you all for the sirens. And I do have detailed invoices on those that I can give to Janet. The paper I gave you shows what the cost of each one of those were. First one, 21,000. Second, 2, and I put 2, but one was purchased in the city because the invoice was going to show 2, but only one of those is township. And again, this is just the unincorporated parts of the township and just Washington Township. And then the third invoice there has 2 sirens. Those last 2 sirens were just installed this summer. Again, I said they were purchased 3 years ago, never done, but we've fortunately been able to finally get those up and functioning. And then I have the locations listed there where they are. So, and I've gone over this, Brad. There was one at the fairgrounds that had been removed. It was on our list that's been removed and, looks like it might still be on the list, so we're gonna check into that, but I don't think it was ever replaced or. If anybody knows, is there one at the fairgrounds?
It was taken down because
Okay.
it wasn't functional, we were told.
Right, and it was
And
never,
it was replaced with the one out on 280 West.
okay, and that's on the list, okay. So,
So 280 West said they come down.
Pardon?
280 West did come down.
no.
No, it's still out there.
It's
The
a
one on the
new
corner of the fairgrounds came down. When they
Yes.
built a new.
280 wasn't on my original list.
280 is one of the, it was probably installed in 2020, I guess, based on the purchase date. And then two others were purchased later, some are from 2021. That would have been installed. Yeah, I knew once fairgrounds moved because the township got a recycling check, $40 for it. So it was cost a little bit more to buy a new one, but so all of these that we have are the new modern sirens. Some are 5 stacks, some are 10. Those new 10 stacks are loud, but they're kind of farther out too. So, and then that is about the new Brad's getting. I guess we can do that too if you want, but my question or my suggestion to you is that could you, would the county accept ownership of those 4 sirens that we have and we put them on your asset list? You have full control of those. What do you want to do with them?
Is there a maintenance, Brad? There a
Right now,
maintenance
we're
for them?
paying time and parts. On my same way they've done it for years.
The only thing that one of them has continual is the one 964 East State Road 46, which is in the yard by Oakley Monuments. That has an electric foot that goes with it because it is not solar. And I looked into turning it into solar, and the price of solar, it will take you maybe 10, 12 years to recover that cost instead of just continuing to pay the electric bill of $40. Sorry, MC.
Just got a minimum on it. Minimum wage.
Exactly. But it would take so long to recover that. I think it's like $6,000 or $9,000 for that to turn it into solar. But all the new ones are solar. It's not any electric, to be honest. And then also the 4 sirens, sorry, plus the control system. It's very important. It's going to run all of them across the county.
But they're all paid for and there's no balance due or anything like that.
Correct. We pay for everything. Mhm. Last thing we had to pay this summer were, we had to pay for a new pole to be installed by REMC, and that's been installed. They're all up and functioning, and we did pay for the pole, yes. The only thing that's not been done, and it's a city one, it's not yours, is the old city siren that we replaced by Jackson County Bank. They still haven't removed the old one, but it's separate poles. We'll have to remove that siren and that pole as well, but the new ones are up.
They have to have a larger truck because it's on top of a pole. It's almost got to be a crane truck. Same way for like McCoy when you get it installed.
It's already done. It's done. It's cleaned up and like McCoy, when that's all gone in it, yeah, we had it taken down a long time ago. It's been cleaned up.
I don't have an issue. But I'm here taking over possession, control of these items. My vantage point, and it makes sense, since Brad would be dealing with most of that stuff anyways. It makes sense. Brad, do you have any issues with where you sit?
No, I just need to run down and verify and get on file. But like she said, the electrical on the one on 46 down the road, we got that water. But it's not very.
I don't have any issues. I did appreciate the gifting of the sirens and the service it does for the thing and maintaining the maintenance cost of the electric. Seems like
Pretty minimal.
Yeah, I think it's great that the township's been able to purchase those through the years. It looks like maybe over the last 10 years, several were purchased. So that's really great. But we're pretty well covered, I think. And Brad's been working on the whole county system, and pretty much get everybody, but everybody's also gone through like some kind of electronic device signal now too, and I don't know how many people really pay attention to the one outside or didn't hear it, but again, they are very loud.
Doesn't have service.
I'm sorry.
Everybody who doesn't have
They're
service.
just at the house, so you can hear it.
Yeah.
One's right above my house, so I promise you they're. We hear.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the 4 siren and the warning siren control system as county property, and to assume the bill for the electrical month for the one on the state road.
I'll second. Concur. Thanks, Bev.
Thank you.
Good work.
Next up, county attorney. Approval to send county property auction.
Yes, so, as briefly mentioned before, in terms of the 81 seed goats and horses, from some time ago, the judge has signed the order of seizure, and now in a position of having to decide what to do with those. We administratively discussed and went ahead and preemptively got a notice, potential option out, because the statute requires certain notices be given. And so this puts us 15 days ahead of where we would have been if we waited today. But that being said, it has not formally been voted on or decided what will happen. So that is for you guys today. What is the appropriate option to move these animals through if the county government is only livestock. So it's set up to where that can be done, or we pursue alternate routes under the statutes within your authority.
So earlier we kind of determined we're 15,000. Mindy, you said you received a grant from the Humane Society.
There it is,
How much was that grant?
$4,700. So that took care of the first month, 40 and head. The goats and horses on.
About $10,300. When do we anticipate to get that? When it's coming?
So I've already paid for that because the way it was set up with the Humane Society. So they are sending me the money. And then what I did was I just paid out of my restricted, and when that money comes, I will replace it back into the account that I spent.
Okay, so the stuff in claims, the 4,700 and 4,008 line fund is your restricted.
Yeah, that came out of my restricted.
Okay, that money will go back into that section. And then the plan for July. You have a plan to pay for July's bills.
I mean, I can pull it out of restricted if I have to.
Where is that going to put you?
I don't know what the correct balance is on my restricted account. The last time I looked, I think there was 48,000.
I know when we talked in June, when this originally came in, you didn't want to spend any of that money.
I'd rather not, but if I have to, you know.
That information that you gave us then is where we decided to move towards options.
Right, but no, I'm just saying that would help you, we could recoup some of that money. So then that we have a buffer again, or God forbid if we had another seizure or another neglect case coming up. Or, you know what I'm saying, to put that back.
What's the condition of the animals now?
They're better, but only by like a body score. Like, so what she goes and scores them, and they were all in the real low 4 body score area. And then, she wanted them to do 30 days, when she did the recheck, she wanted to see everybody up a body percent. And, you know, they are there, but they're still far from, you know, being at the top of their body score, where they're considered healthy. But you have to do it slowly. You can't just like overfeed them.
What would be your suggestion to the commissioners as how to proceed?
I feel like that we need to look for rescues for the horses. I feel like that they are pets. The goats, you know, there is possibility that, you know, there's some CL in them or whatever.
What's CL?
What do you say? It's like a bacteria.
CL is a contagious disease between sheep and goats. Cattle are even known to be able to get it. It's a bacteria that is highly transmittable. They get abscesses on them. Many of these goats, I would say about 75% of the population, currently has multiple abscesses on them that are they either need to be drained or they're going to bust with time. I mean, I personally, coming from someone that has had livestock, my name is Cassandra Hannah.
Okay. How do you associate with the case?
So I am the one that went with Mindy on the seizures and put her in contact with Humane Society and ABC Farms.
And what's your experience where you were told?
My experience was, so I've had previous cases through the Rushville Animal Shelter. I've been with them for 8 years.
So you work with the Rush
Correct.
Rush County or Rush City?
City of Rushville.
Oh, yes. Are you the shelter director?
Sure.
Okay.
What experience, I know this is gonna derail us on here, what's your experience with the location where the animals are currently housed and where the cattle were taken?
My only experience is I rent from him.
You what?
I rent my house from him. That is my experience with him.
Do you live at the location where the animals?
Oh, absolutely. No, I live with him.
Okay, so go ahead.
So my only concern, and I was expressed this to Mindy, is when you send those goods to auction, that you are spreading the likelihood of that disease, along with sore mouth, which is something that has been a problem since they were first taken. And so, if I was you, I would find a private buyer that would take them straight to slaughter. Any veterinarian that deals with goats and sheep would recommend euthanasia.
So when, I guess it was the day before the court hearing, I asked Mindy to provide us with a plan in our path for what we should do.
What?
A plan or a path, what we should do. Euthanasia is never, you know, that these animals were so sick they need to be destroyed. If we're 65 days into this, housing animals that need to be destroyed at $7,000 a month, we could have done that weeks ago.
Right, but as an option for the county to make their money back, it would be to sell for meat product. It's not a disease that humans can get. I'm just saying that would be the right thing to do as far as like exposing other herds and so on and so forth.
Have any of the goats been diagnosed with CL?
No.
Have any of them
That
been
takes a
tested for
veterinarian.
CL?
They would all have to be tested by that.
And we haven't done that yet. We're suspecting that it has CL.
They have all symptoms. Yeah.
Have we been advised on this prior to today?
I Do you know where the cattle went?
You'll have to talk.
And that would be ABC Farm and Custom, right?
Right, absolutely.
So far, that name hasn't been used at all. That's,
It's all in invoices.
and I mismatched that earlier. 32 head of cattle, $3 a pound, 2,000 gallons, was $192,000. When,
With, granted, they were helped.
what would it cost to get 30 head of cattle where they were at to help?
A lot.
But we're paying the same guy that is doing something free flow, whatever he wants with these cattle. We're paying to ship them from where they were to his place and then completely unrestricted, do whatever he wants with the cattle that were given to the county. Right?
Right.
Have we had any conversations with any rescues to place the horses?
Not as of now.
So
Well,
when
I
did we
take
have,
that back. Take that back. So when we were doing our vaccine event this weekend, the inside rep from Midwest Pharmaceuticals, who we do business with, she came down or came over and helped us with this. And we were talking about this case and about the horses going into a rescue. There is a place in Tennessee that she was gonna reach out to see maybe if they would take it, because it's like a big, it's just like a big sanctuary of horses. And they just go out there and live their best life. That's what they do. They just kind of like roam the property. They've got barns.
have we contacted them to see if they'll take them?
I was gonna get in contact with Gabby on Tuesday, because she was gonna actually start making contact when she went back to work on Monday.
What was the date of the court hearing where the forfeiture was approved?
July 22nd.
So since July 22nd, what have you done to try to get the horses listed?
Well, I had it because, you know, that you guys had decided that you guys were gonna send them to the sale barn. You know, that was the.
We haven't decided that.
Well, but
to
that's
this
what I was
exact
told that
moment.
it was gonna, that was the plan, to take them all to the sale barn, all in a big lot.
So if we were to choose to, if I were to choose to suggest that we put the horses to a rescue, how long would it take for them? Rescues? And not ABC Farm Fest.
Right. I mean, maybe, I don't know, a week, because we'd have to start networking and getting them out.
And what would that cost? Continue to have them boarded and fed for full horses.
Per day, I would have to sit and look. It was, so that whole bill averaged out to being like with the 85 head that was being taken care of. It averaged out to about $50 a day per head for 30 days.
Melanie, was there something?
Yeah, there's a lot I want to say. So, okay, you want to sell these animals, I get that. But, so if all the cats and dogs at the shelter are counting property, do you want her to come to you before she adopts them out or sends them to rescue?
Are cats and
I
dogs,
mean-
are cats and dogs livestock?
Well, they're not, but they're still animals.
Do they have a market value?
Yes, they do.
Cats
If
and
you love
dogs.
your animals,
We're talking about a market value. Farm livestock are not pets.
yes, they are.
So it looked like $55 a month was probably our average per animal, 85 animals, 4,700, 500, that's per day. So just a couple dollars a day. Horse rescues are very common to find.
I can get on the Best Friends Network. We can get on the Shelter Alliance page. We could have them posted and probably have them moved within a couple of days. There's a lot of networking that within Shelter World with rescues and stuff like that, where we can move them.
Typically, if the rescues accept that animal, do they come get them?
Yes. They do, because we don't have, the shelter itself does not have a trailer to where we can haul large animals. So with every seizure right now, we would, have to take on that cost of finding a farmer with the truck, with the trailer to load up the animals and remove from the property.
Well, I certainly differentiate the difference between horses and goats and livestock. Horses are much more pet animals than livestock. Very less likely in America to be used as meat and to be fed and do things. Goats are not. Goats are just eat all the time. They feed people and they're on menus and restaurants. I am okay with having horses to rescue and goats to auction. But the horses need to be moved very quickly. And they are not to stay at the ABC farm.
They're what?
They're not to stay at the ABC farm. They need to be rescued.
And see that then there's gonna be that extra cost of loading them up and then moving.
They can stay there until they're rescued.
Okay,
That's not who can rescue them.
I misunderstood.
They don't become the property of ABC farm because they say, hey, we'll rescue. I'm comfortable with that for discussion.
Chad, does our prior notice, do we fall acceptable at the disposal to send horses to a rescue for a prior notice, or are we going to have to delay any disposal of the horses through a rescue to satisfy notice requirements?
Well, and so under the statute, if I'm interpreting the conversation I'm hearing correctly, feel free to weigh in. We're declaring there's not a market for these particular horses given their condition. There's a section of the statute that states that cost of care and maintenance and sale of property more than came from the sale, not have to fit into a public sale. Those are the property.
And it's not probably information I have. I'll talk.
So the horses would then be moved to the other section of the statute, that they don't have to be subjected to sale because of their condition. Goats, there's still a marketable value to them, so the public notice for auction maintains that it can proceed in a different track. So I think it's acceptable to consider them two separate lots of items. Goats is one, the horses is another. I think a lot of horses, it sounds like, has little to no value and certainly not over the cost of care and boarding. So we could get them to a place that they would be harmed.
When was the last time the conditions of the animals were observed?
They were observed Saturday, but that was through a veterinary
Like,
a veterinary technician. Because we had the brown mare. She has always been lame in her leg. She went down so bad. I mean, was totally just laying there. And so it just so happened that when we did our vaccine clinic, this lady from Midwest, the rep, she is also an RVT and works with large animals, small animal in a clinic. They're close to a reservation there in Minnesota. So they gave some pain medication, over-the-counter pain medication to kind of help with it. Then she broke out in hives. Well, we actually had a bottle of, I don't know, it was liquid Benadryl, but in medical form, injectable. So we rode over to Rushville and the tech gave her some IV Benadryl, keep her the hives. And then Casey did say the next day that she was starting to stand and not just want to lay all the time. So I mean, she's gonna need, you know, a lot of care, ongoing care. I talked to Greensburg vet today. They suggested bute tabs, but you can only do that twice a day for like 5 days. And that's not a long-term pain medication. And they said that in order to treat her further, she would need to be x-rayed, which that would be an expense. But we want to get it out there to the right rescue, that there's rescues that's their specialty. They want the sick, the injured, you know, so, I mean, she could go to a rescue quickly.
How many horses? 4. Besides that one, what's the condition of the others?
The Appaloosa, she's gaining weight, she's looking good, but very unsocialized. When you're around her, we're getting to the point where she will come to you for like some scratch. But any sudden movement, any like noise will just trigger her and she is just gone, then she's done. The gelding, he's pretty good. He is very bonded and just seems to always want to be with mares. And then the stud, he's just stubborn and he still doesn't. They're very unsure of like loud noises, sudden move, get down, pick something up. I think it's just the way they've been treated in the past and being unsocialized. I mean, there was the mare and the brown mare and the Appaloosa, they were up in the front barn and it was just 3 horses. But never saw the light of day. Occasionally would see the owners go in to feed. And that was sparingly.
Yeah, idea what the value of those horses would be at market, at auction. What were they auctioned for?
I think you'd be lucky to get maybe 500 to 800 out of them. I mean, that's, you know, what I'm, especially with all their issues. And I'm worried about, you know, somebody getting it. Thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a 4-H animal for my granddaughter or whatever. You know, these animals, no, I don't think any of them are broke. And I just feel like that if we did auction them off and somebody did try to put their kid up on it and they get hurt, I feel like could that be a liability back on us? Because when we let these animals out into auction, possibly being feral, you know.
We're not guaranteeing the horse, right?
I just don't think that it would be a good situation for them. They're pets and they just need to go somewhere and live their life. Because they've been through a lot and you can tell it. And I mean, as for the goats, you might want to talk with the sale barn and, you know, talk about the possible things problems with the goats and see if they even want them in their arena and around there, you know, possibly exposing other goats.
How are horses bought and sold? I don't know, I've never owned a horse.
That would be a good question.
Mostly through private sales. You do get some that go through the auction, and when I look back at Knightstown's livestock reports, you have from $500 to $800 were your sales numbers. And I think that was back to April, was as far back as I went and saw horses on the sale thread.
So horses do go to the same place that we're talking about taking horses.
They do from time to time.
So why is it a bad thing that we're wanting to send horses to the sale barn? That's what.
So what's my problem with?
Yeah.
Okay, so my problem is equine and livestock. I disagree, they're not the same.
I can get on. board with that.
Completely
I can get on
disagree.
board with that. But why is it bad to send horses to the sale?
So You have 4 horses that have come so far from what they were. You have a stud that, in my opinion, is dangerous. Whoever loads them on a trailer and unloads them are, I mean, it's at your risk. But if
Not be the same risk putting to foster with,
you putting them to rescue.
Yeah.
No, rescue have their own insurance. These people.
What?
So when you sign them over to rescue, rescue has their own insurance. So then that's on
Right.
them when they.
Like, so we take them to the livestock yard to have them sold.
Mhm.
They have,
It's whoever's transporting them. So that's maybe
Sure.
with that, correct?
yeah,
But they're just different animals. They're not a goat, they're not a sheep, they're not a cow, they're not a pig. They're not the same.
right, but I mean,
And-
horses are sold at auction at livestock yards, like.
They are, and I can almost assure you, well, first off, your lame horse, I don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if she got there and the Board of Animal Health wasn't contacted because she was so. And then your other 3, I mean, you're putting the public at risk at that point, in my opinion.
Who in the public are we putting at risk?
Buyers, because are you gonna be there to represent these animals?
Well.
Because I've been to many auctions.
I'm asking, is there a representation that is made for any animal that goes to auction that says this animal is fit for X, Y, and Z?
Oh, yeah, they'll bring them in and they will, what I like to term it as cowboy them. Someone will jump on their back and sell them as this is a good broke mare or gelding or whatever. That horse isn't broke. You're in an arena with 100 people sitting around you. It's so scared it doesn't know which direction to go. And so then it happens all the time. People buy them from auctions and they get home and have something completely different. Plus, you're beautying one of them because she's injured. So you're not getting true personality out of her. You're sending a drugged animal to the auction.
I grew up riding auction. Taught my grandpa all the horses.
And my grandpa was a horse trader, so he was. I grew up like that. So it's easy to shrug our shoulders and not care. But the reality is the world views them different than your goats and your sheep and your cows. And you have rescues that are willing to take them on. And I don't understand why that's not that wasn't an option from the start.
Wasn't an option suggested. I asked my director multiple times to provide me with options.
I did ask about getting those horses. Yes, I did ask you and I asked Mark. Why couldn't we try just to get these horses into rescue?
I don't recall the conversation. I got no emails.
It was a verbal conversation.
I said, I don't remember. I'm not calling you a liar.
Right. Oh, I know.
No, thank you, Melanie, for.
Well,
Sorry, I'm literally just, I've never owned a
No.
horse. I know a lot of people that own horses. I'm just trying to find a difference from somebody that's raised cattle, raised hogs. I'm trying to find a difference by sending them to the stuff that's bad. That's why.
Because you don't have people trying to ride, well, whatever. But, you don't, it's not the same. They're considered more of a companion animal than a cow, a horse, a pig, or anything like that.
I get
And
that, but I've
so-
seen horses go to auction. The one that's the worst off, it sounds like she probably needs to be euthanized.
Oh, I don't disagree. I mean, I suggested that a veterinary opinion be put in on it because I see the pain in her eyes.
Yes, that's not fair. That ain't.
Absolutely not. I mean, nothing scares me with euthanasia. I am pro euthanasia if it's the right decision for that animal.
The ultimate decision is that the county cannot continue to own livestock. We have to have a plan to end this.
Absolutely. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So with the bond that was put into place, what exactly happened? Like on the 11th day, the animals technically became the property of the county, and you could have moved on from there and not incurred.
How do you think that process works? Who determines if they become property?
It's a state law, so your attorney should have said, No, because that's how we've done 5 different cases in Rush County.
My attorney
With
can't make
success.
that determination. It has to be determined by a judge, right?
But
So in the
without,
United States of America, you have defendants and you have prosecutors. And when we go see somebody's animals, the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution says that they're free from unlawful search and seizure.
Mhm.
So somebody has to determine if that seizure was lawful. My attorney doesn't have the power to do that. So who has the power?
so
to
what
determine
point
that
was the
seizure?
bond?
Let me speak. Who has the power to determine if that seizure was lawful?
Okay,
Do you know?
go ahead with your,
It's a judge.
okay.
So a judge has to have a hearing to make that determination. That's supposed to happen on the 10th day. There's supposed to be a hearing in front of the judge. That judge didn't have the hearing and he didn't make a determination on the 10th day. He continued that. So we had to wait at the mercy of the judge until he had the hearing so he could make a determination was whether the seizure was legal or not and to give us the authority to open. That happened on the 22nd of July. The commissioners nor our council had any control or process in that at all. We've had no part of this process from the beginning when the shelter went and took them until today when we're just trying to figure out.
Mhm.
The prosecutor's office, the judge, and the attorney for the defendants all had part of that civil hearing to determine the process of the penalties. So it was determined on the 22nd of July at a hearing where a judge determined that there was good reason to take these animals from these people against their will because they did not surrender. And that's when it was determined that they became private property. And the commissioners nor our council had anything to do with that. Because there's no place in this world where I want to keep somebody's animals.
So why do you think that bond is put into place? What do you think? That's to protect counties like what you're going for.
No disagreement, but I don't control the judicial process.
But you have to push, you have to be able. I know because
So
I
when the defendant has an attorney and asks for a continuance, how do you think we change that?
we've had the same case, and you know what, on the 11th day, that animal still became our property and we disposed of them in whatever nature was proper. Because when you get into cases like this, they go on for years sometimes.
Well, based off of our understanding as a law, you probably took that person's property illegally. And you didn't give them full due process of the law and likely violated their constitutional rights set forth by the United States of America.
I disagree, but I still stand by everything that was relayed to me. I think it's sickening that you don't care where the animals end up. They're no longer your problem. You don't care if they end up back in the custody of the owner. Like, that is just gut-wrenching sickening. As councilmen to make those statements. And
We're commissioners.
I'm sorry,
Don't
commissioners.
badmouth the council. They haven't been.
Sorry, council, as commissioners, I apologize. It's not,
Who's made statements? I know I've never said those statements.
they have been relayed back to me. So, it's sad. It's, as an animal shelter, if you don't want to do large animals, then you need to push your system that you guys don't do large animals. There's a lot of places that don't, Franklin County don't do large animals.
We will certainly be taking that under.
But if you're going to, you need to do it correctly. And by correctly, you need, the shelter's job is to look for a positive outcome for any animal that enters that facility.
The commissioner's job is to responsibly spend the taxpayers' dollars.
Correctly.
Those don't always align the same.
We've spent $15,000 on animals that the owner would not take care of. It's our job to find them a home. And by law, our attorney has advised us that public auction is the swiftest way to find them a home. And my vote is to send them to auction on Saturday morning at Knightstown Livestock Auction. I've heard enough.
The only caveat I have to that, Mark, is the horse that I think might need to be put down. That's my only consideration.
You need to have advice from a veterinary.
that's my only consideration. I've heard horses going to stockyards for sale. That's why I was inquiring about what the opposition was about sending, because I've heard of it done, I've seen it done. That's why I didn't know what your basis was and why I asked the questions that I asked. The description that I got about the nature of the current condition of the horses, besides the lame mare, did not lead me to believe that the animals had no value. Which under Chad's review there, we could not just preemptively change what our notice was going to be. It sounds like the animals have value. I don't think that I can qualify or sit here and say that they do not. So I agree, I agree with Mark's motion, except for the lame mare. I think at this point in time, the best thing to do with that animal is to have it evaluated and possibly euthanized.
And the legalities of the value of the horses. I don't have an argument that it changes our notice. I would prefer to see the horses go to rescue, but at $500 to $800, they certainly have value. I will make a motion that or accept Park's motion on this.
I concur, I agree, not there.
This is the first.
I do think that Mary needs to be looked at though. Yeah.
As a goat person who's raised, it's all goes, just to say you got in trouble, just so you don't spend extra money. Make sure you get with somebody and just get all the mics down. I know that eye sense goes up there recently. They changed the laws on that, so make sure they're all ear tagged before they go up there.
Yeah.
That would be something to check into. Just so guys from all
Already been done.
Yeah, already in the process.
That's a good deal.
Thanks, Jim. Yep. I do appreciate you coming down, providing information this evening.
Fair committee bylaws.
So you get a veterinary as soon as possible. Evaluate.
I will get a doctor.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
You have one put down. You have to dig a big hole. I know why I'm taking.
She can pay to have it.
Boss back won't take it.
If you
Costs
pay
you
extra,
$350.
yeah, you have to pay.
If we pay the vet extra, they'll take it.
No, boss back will take it.
And they're gonna take
Oh,
it to
okay.
landfill. They'll charge you
Yeah,
$350.
boss back. If they take it.
Let's say they'll charge you $350.
Housebacks will not take it, of course.
They won't take one. They'll let you take it, but they'll charge you $350.
And it goes
Takes
to
right straight to the landfill.
It does not go to Boston.
They just try.
So we did that. I'm gonna dig on. Will.
Fair committee bylaws. Been discussed for a while now. I wanted to wait to get us past the fair here so that I had an opportunity to talk to folks at the fair, see if there were any additions, changes, or anything to the bylaws that we previously discussed. You guys have the latest version. Any thoughts, any discussions? At this point, I was proposing them for acceptance so that we can create a new fair committee and we can move on to selection of the new fair committee.
Yeah, I had a couple out of the changes.
Okay.
Page 2, section 3 under secretary, it says shall keep and publish meeting agendas. Do we need to more clearly define what the parameters for publishing are? Do they need to follow the same agenda publishing that elected officials and stuff do, the 5-day notice? Or, I mean, publish, they can like put a text out or something on Facebook half an hour before the meeting.
No, they don't have the same requirements.
But do we want them to have? So I think they should have. If it's a public meeting and people can come to it, they should have to follow the same standards and rules. In any elected office or anything, so that there's notice to the public. And then, do they have to publish the minutes? So that they can be reviewed by the public for transparency? I know part of the large discussion concerning the prior fair board was transparency of actions and such. So making sure these agendas, meetings are published and then meetings are put out for review. Part of the resolution that I think we need to make sure these rules are made true. So we don't define published meeting. Literally, you can put something on Facebook at 5:59 PM and have a meeting that meets the legal definition. Unless we clarify deeper. And then page 3, next page, second line, the treasurer shall present a financial fiscal budget to the Decatur County Council until such time that the fair committee is self-sustaining. I don't think I personally care whether it's ever self-sustaining. It should always present a budget to the council. Their budget should always be presented regardless of whether it's self-sustaining. Issue every year, whether they take another tax dollar or not, the council should be reviewing that budget.
Which section was that there, Tony?
It's the second page of second line of the very next page. So it's page 3. I guess
Section 5.
Yeah.
technically the first line. I think if we just strike.
Sure.
It's self-sustaining, so treasurer will present a fiscal budget to Decatur County Council every year.
The claims go through the same process.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they'll follow the same process as any agency which spends taxpayer dollars, regardless of whether it's taxpayer dollars or revenue generated from the fair.
Yeah, it all goes to that same account, non-reverting account. So that everything comes in, managed as all other claims and any other claim that we make.
Okay, so currently it's the Fairgrounds Administration, 4910. Fair is a separate department of that. So next year, when you look at all those numbers, you're gonna have revenues from rental of the buildings. So you still want that all in that one fund.
I think since we'll be approving everything that comes in.
So the commissioners will still do the fairgrounds portion of the budget.
Yes.
Yeah, this committee will only have costs associated with the actual
fair
running of the fair.
So they have.
Any building upgrades whatsoever, all will have to be.
Well, any other contract according to new law that Chad was talking about, this county. Some type of county government, but this cover it not.
It would not. So the new statute was very specific as to its place to county elected officials. So people that fall under you already, as the executive, are covered already.
So yes, as far as contracts for the fair, yes, they have that power for the purpose of putting on the fair.
Okay, so what keeps that from going over budget? Just. They're supposed to be conscious.
When you're watching everything, so if they see their budgets, you'll know that they spent more money than they're supposed to. Wherever Christie's at. Yeah, I mean, we have to set it up for when they have a budget. Everything that goes in and out of that budget is tracked and monitored, just like any agency.
I understand that. That's what I'm saying.
There's also,
Fairgrounds rental revenue also goes into that. It gets commingled with your fair.
We'll have to separate that. Because that's a single.
Separate it if that's an issue.
Let me discuss.
Yeah, we can separate it if that's an issue. Also, there will still be a commissioner and a member of the council on the fair committee. Anything else, Tony?
No, those were the only two things that I saw that I had thoughts on.
Mark, anything on the latest edition?
None of those changes. That question I had was, who's gonna, I guess it'd still be on Commissioner Jake's day to day, week to week things to prepare for.
Yeah.
Commissioner will oversee that, and the commissioners would then oversee the placement of individuals of this committee.
Right. Yeah, all rentals. It's in here somewhere as far as.
Yeah, trailer rental, building rental, all of that ought to be separated out. It's not be.
Yeah, rental, all of the rental. The commissioners, not.
Start doing fall derbies and big rodeos and, that type of stuff. Which I know is.
So Reynolds section. Actually, it's there on the first page. Under Article 2, the Decatur County Commissioner is responsible for all building and/or fairgrounds rentals. So I can make those changes here pretty quickly. As far as publication, Mark, what's your thoughts as far as publication goes?
I think the meetings need to be set, just like commissioner meetings, whether it's first Wednesday of the month, third Wednesday of the month, I think they need to set a date so that it's regular, so that some things may want to get people in routine, so the public can expect something. I think it needs to be. It's like we do now. I mean, the audit Janet now, she lets radio on the newspaper know that next Wednesday, we're going to have a fair meeting. It's the airwaves like that.
They will take on and listen and ask questions.
What are your thoughts on how we publish for a committee like this, minutes and agendas?
I would be posted in Slack and everything.
That's the same as what we do now. That's,
Could you just put them on the website like other boards and commissions do?
that's the easiest.
Do that.
And it's going to be.
Right.
They don't have a lot of other options.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
choose a
just-
certain date, like Mark said, to your one that knows that,
So
You still-
the,
publish it. Yeah, you have to publish them. Like these meetings, so many days ahead of, so the other day, you still have to publish it 7 days ahead.
the bylaws actually designate the third Wednesday on each month, except for July and December. So, that's-
Barring those two changes, I'll approve the.
Let me. I will second that, and I will have those changes done here. Actually, get it, if I can email you a copy, you can actually get a signed copy done tonight, so we can put this one down category.
One question I had, and also a couple of things coming in on the Facebook, I sound like 100 years old. I just realized that. What is, is there a specific date you hope to have this committee formed?
I'm sorry,
Like people deciding who's going to be on it and all those things. Is there a
So-
certain date?
I don't have like a set date. I want it to be done for December.
Okay.
would be my goal because planning for the new fair will kick off basically at the beginning of the new year. That's when we've started the last two fairs and I've been part of it. So I want to have it all in place before then, for sure. At this point, there's been some discussion about asking for like a resume or a qualification or a statement of qualifications for people that are interested. I know I've heard from a handful of individuals who want their names to be in consideration for being on the fair committee. So if you have that interest, go ahead and get in contact with me. We can find a way to get that statement of qualifications or whatever it is that you want to be considered to be on the new fair committee. And then we will have, according to these bylaws, the commissioners will appoint the first round of committee members. And then after that, selection process begins.
The first round is just us,
Yes.
so we won't use the nomination committee that's in there.
And the reason for that, I mean, I want to make sure that we have continuity, a good transition from a fair that the last couple of years has been very, very successful, not degrading anything that was before. I'm just talking about what the experience has been for me the last couple of years. Something that I'm passionate about. I just want to make sure that we have a good transition where we don't sacrifice the fair for the kids that are coming out there that want a good product so that we can continue a good thing forward here.
Is that all your questions?
Yes, sir.
Hey, the next thing on the agenda is the opioid funds. Judge Day wants to come on our next meeting and present program. The opioid money that county gets from the settlement, they would like us commissioner to turn that over to JRAC, where JRAC would make either take application for the use of those funds or grants, and then present that to the commissioners. With, I'll let Judge Day explain that a little more depth at our next meeting. Just want to get that out there.
Sounds like a good, that's better. Where it should be, yes, I would have that.
The next thing on there is courthouse maintenance. At our last meeting, we had spoke about all the things that Patty does, I do behind the scenes. Just don't know that that's fair to anybody, that all the things she has to handle. She's taking this elevator thing, the chair lifts, the painting, the plastering. Don't even know that that was ever meant to be her forte. We talked. It's not exactly happy with lawn care. Maybe if we had a maintenance person, they could do the lawn care and light bulb changing, the desks repairs, basement rearranging. It seems like the basement seems to be, in my 8 years, every time I go down there, there's always something new that someone didn't want that just lands in the basement. And then it's fallen in Patty's lap. I know that that's something that she's supposed to be in charge of either. She'll call me and I'll have my guys here take stuff to the dumpster, clean things out. I don't know that the next replacement, they want to get into that, so.
I truly think it's a way to save money.
We spend so much on contracts and having people come in and do different things in courthouse and the annex.
Continuity of that position. When I was at the jail, I mean, we called Dave Geis, and we called Dave Geis because Dave Geis knew everything about that building. He knew which place on the wall it hit with his hand to make whatever was happening stop happening. If you get that out of maintenance bin, then you get in and you can keep and do those things, and that is valuable. I'm not sure how many buildings we own, But I think we could probably keep a crew of maintenance men busy. I don't think it'll be downtime for them. So when you start talking about the annex and light bulb changes and repairs over there and small things that our department and elected officials all have to do without, I just think it's better money spent. The armory, all these places that we can start utilizing now, and we can get rid of the loan contract. We'll have issues, go downstairs, talk to the guys and maybe their grasp issues. To get things, they can keep track of all the projects. I think it's a really good thing. A good idea for us to put into our budget.
I agree. I think it is. Do you want that, do you want to have that put in for next year, or is that a position that you want to try and fill this year or a couple of months that we have this year?
I think we have to put the idea out there of candidates and see if there's somebody out there. I'd be interested that could fill all of those.
Need a part-time job, Tony.
I don't believe that's going to be a part-time job. Do we have a funding source where we can pay them for that out this year? Wait till we have our budget hearings together. I like the idea of getting it started down. Because again, Mark, with your 8 years experience, the stuff that you do in here, I hear verbally, but it's more than what I. So having is dump some of that knowledge on for a couple months. Just want to make sure we make one this year. Part of the guy in January. Full-time benefits.
Yes.
Any idea what we think that sheriff's left? Any idea what we think that salary is for that is?
You know what they pay Gary, Greg over there at jail?
No, I think traffic safety a little over. A hundred and now, Jim. 55. 54, 55.
I think to get somebody who's fairly well versed in just about everything, plus some of the specialty stuff, I think it's gotta be a paid position. We don't want to turn it over every 6 months.
The other thing is, he's got one building.
At least here in the annex, I think.
The salary study on. Hey, it's a well. I was gonna see if we could go back there and get some ideas on description.
Well, let's knock our heads around and next meeting.
Research. Would you like, if somebody's interested, to contact one of you guys?
Be great,
Yeah. We floated around talking about the roof for the courthouse. We need to try to get that bid out this year. And then, you're working diligently on trying to get that HVAC specs out to the annex. We'll have to see a bit that.
We have posted it. I have 10, 17th August. Bids.
With another big project. With that money for part, I'd like to have some of this to present to them. So yeah, we'll also schools. Open up some opportunity for that.
System.
Yeah, the most recent ones that Patty's talked about is the J system, and a minimum, we need to get that electrical panel as well.
And I think that's something that's beyond the scope of what our maintenance guy is. I think it's something to get replaced. So that'll need to come out of food cap.
we can get the ball rolling on the window project. The annex and see where we can get on that. I know it's a short time.
Yeah.
But it's something that's gonna have to be done.
Yeah, even if we just figure out what the cost is to have the drawings done and a complete evaluation done. Then we can, you know, even if it doesn't get out to bid next year, we can get hold of HWC and or whatever the other engineering firms and get some competitive costs on what's cost. Yeah. Bid it out, bring us, basically it's just build a scope of work. I've let Patty figure that one out. Appreciates all of us. Like, hey, you got the scope of work on the heating and air conditioners.
I got it.
How am I supposed to do that? Oh, I know she did it.
Now, when I RT units.
But I think for the scale of a project like it, you probably not have to do that for us.
She might tell you that.
I could win a little favor with her right now.
Another thing I have, Brad, I guess, you seen this after this gen set?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
gen set for the 25, 6, and 7 years. We added county highways, new generator, and we put the health department on that other building.
Do we need to sign this?
No, that was just for your information right now. For the end of the year, we just want to make sure you know what we were doing.
So we're talking about generators. Where are we at on the one for the tower across from GPD? We got numbers on it yet?
We don't have numbers, but we've got sizing, and he's also putting together a quote to move that
Electric.
meter, yeah. So we've added that too. It's gonna be all one number, but separate. Our bedroom too, we're down to one, speaking of air conditioning, we're down to one air. And it's not keeping up real well. So there's a temporary measure.
It'll be winter soon.
Next month.
You'll be glad to know that we're not doing the BZA meeting there on.
Oh, yeah, I'm very glad. The maple tree right outside my door too. Been dropping some small limbs, within the big deal, but it dropped a 4-inch limb the other day. So I don't know how you guys handle looking at trees. I'm not a tree expert. I got a chainsaw. If you want me to-
We're Todd.
You want me to get a hold of him? I don't care. I just don't want somebody to get hurt. We've got this plastic back there.
Call him, Tim, they've got. Maybe have source they can get,
That's fine.
if he doesn't feel good about it,
Got
let
it.
us know, we'll get.
We can hook trains in if you want us to.
That's the bus, good. Brian, you have anything for us before you fall asleep?
Annual meeting went well. For everybody came to site visits since then. And I will say, from the standpoint, we are reaching that 65% threshold of ready one allotment. Dollars. So quicker we can have everything in line for those projects. So
Anyone else?
Mark, I'm sorry, I do have one other thing. We've gotten a revised agreement with Baker Tilly for our financial review. One that we had gotten previously was for the $25,000 review. We had elected, I think, our meeting to do the $35,000 review that included the comprehensive 5-year projection plan. So I've gotten a copy of that, and they need a signature and have this email back to them.
Our first employee executive session already. Yeah,
Baker until stuff. The first one has the signature line on it. It's actually-
Yeah, and this was what we already voted on.
Already voted on it. We just have the actual agreement.
Just need to sign the agreement.
Because the first agreement that she sent over was for the $25,000 financial review of county funds for to actually get us projections and analysis for 5 years going forward.
Same.
It's just the scope of work in the second document.
Same.
I will get that emailed off the page. Baker Tilly.
Executive session over regulations. We discussed a couple options. We want to make a decision on that tonight, or are we still visually thinking about what our plan is?
I think I'm ready to make a decision. I think that at this point, it's most appropriate for separation at this point between the county and the area that was discussed.
Just waiting to hear what you're saying in a second. If you feel comfortable, I'll make a second. I'll concur. Being said, is there anyone else? Entertain a motion for recess.
Motion. Second.
Thank you all for coming and enduring.
Before I got